Hello, I'm Michaela and this is another Top 5 Wednesday video created by Ginger Reads Laney, and I will either leave a YouTube or a Goodreads channel somewhere on the video or in the description. And this is my top 5 series, and I never do these in order of when they are posted online to do every week, but I do them as and when I feel like it, really, because I don't really like to keep up with it. But these ones are in order of 1 to 5, and I do have some runner-ups, like honourable mentions to the side that I also enjoyed. And obviously my number 1 is Harry Potter, because it's such a great series, and as you can tell, this one's been written on and everything, and it's worse inside, but a lot of people will either have this at number 1 or they won't mention it at all because it's unfair on all of the other books. And my number 2 is another obvious choice, and that is Saga, and this is not appropriate for younger readers. It does have mature content, so I'd advise you to be wary of that before going into it, and see whether you're alright with anything in the series, just to make sure. And the next thing that I have is The Edge Chronicles by Paul Stewart and Chris Riddle, and these are absolutely fantastic children's reads, and it's quick and easy to get through. I mean, they are 400 to 500 pages usually, but they're very easy to read, and I can recommend these. And the next thing that I have is Miss Peregrine's Home of Peculiar Children, and I picked up the second book here, but because it was close at hand, and these books are absolutely fantastic, and the pictures inside are creepy, but it's not actually a scary book. And I also recommend these, and these are great for Halloween, which I've just finished the third book for, and they're absolutely fantastic. And my number 5 is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin, and for high fantasy these are hard to get into, and I made the mistake of jumping in at the deep end into high fantasy and went straight in at A Game of Thrones. And if you haven't read high fantasy before, I'd definitely recommend you look up into something a little bit easier to read than A Game of Thrones, because there is some YA fantasy, high fantasy out there that's a little bit easier to read than this, and a little bit easier to follow, that would slowly get you into starting to read this. After you've got into that, you'll find this a little bit easier. And those are the top 5 series that I can recommend to you, but I do have some 3 runners up that weren't quite into this list, and those are the Mr. Monday, where I can't remember the name of the series, but it's through the days of the week and it's got a different thing there. They're great children's reads, and I can recommend these to most children. The next thing that I have is Divergent by Veronica Roth, and these were great. Well, the first 2 I absolutely loved, but I was slightly disappointed by the ending of the third book, and I won't tell you what happens in case you've read it. You haven't read it yet, but the first 2 are absolutely fantastic, and I think they're great. And for those 2 books, I would definitely recommend them, but you can read Allegiant to your own thing. It's not as good. And the next thing that I've got, I don't know the name of the actual series, but the Dan Brown books with Robert Langdon in them, and this is book 2 in that series, and I prefer the ones with Robert Langdon in them, and I don't think they're as controversial as people try to make them out to be, but overall they are pretty good thrillers that are quick and easy to get through, and that's one of the reasons why I love them so much. And with these ones, it's rare for me to like both the films and the books, and I can definitely recommend these if you want some like a religion and thriller type of book that are both together. And that's all I've got for this today, and I hope you've enjoyed it today, and thanks for watching.